Are you ready for this one? This is probably the most complex one, and I might have to split this video into two. We'll see how we go time wise, because it will only film up to 30 minutes at a time on this camera. There's lots of bits to it, and I think the instructions are clear. It makes sense now. I've rewritten them all out, but this is the one that's going to take you the longest time, all right? And it's called Gazing at the Countryside, and it's well worth it. I'm just going to take my tweezers out of there because I'm holding some glue in place. Relax and have a great retirement is on the front, or a good retirement. And then when you open it up, you've got this, and it's called Gazing at the Countryside, and I think it's lovely. I think it's a really nice card to make for a man, as well as, you know, children, young, not so young. I just think it's really pretty. And it makes me smile because where we live, we look at the back, there's a reservoir, we look over the fields at the back, and it's where my mum and dad used to live. It's the house I was brought up in. And when my mum used to get really cross with this pheasant because it would walk backwards, it would fly over into our garden in the morning, and then it would walk backwards and forwards all day trying to find its way back through the fence. And she used to say, why does it not just fly back over? It's a stupid bird. And it used to get her really cross, and it used to make me howl laughing. So when we designed this card, it had to be a little bit of a nod to the pheasant and my mum. It was quite funny. So let's go through the instructions. Let's start at the beginning and let's work our way through gradually through this. I'm going to call it a marathon because it is a little bit of a marathon, but it's a good one. So let's have a go. Right, so it gives you the cutting list. Again, just cut the bits as you need them, because otherwise it's going to be really overwhelming. There's too much to it. In the designer top tips, I have talked about the back supports. All right, so a back support has 3 sections, and I have lettered them A, B and C, because it's easier for me to put into instructions than say in the middle section of the back support for the hill one. It's too many words, so I've called it A, B and C. Then we also have what we call hill or support arms, and what I've done, they have 4 panels, so I've numbered those 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I can say glue number 1 to the back of the hill, glue number 4 to the base of the card. It just made more sense, and it took me a while to write these instructions out and work out how to do it. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that you understand them, and if you don't, it's my fault, not yours. So cut the inner card and the sky. So we've cut the inner card, and you also have a piece that is the sky. So you can cut the whole thing in green, and then you can cut the sky in blue, and you can stick it to the top, and that gives you the perspective of the card. So let's put everything else to one side for now. It says on the card, fold the score lines on both of the pop-up boxes, so this one and this one, as follows. The top 2, so the top lines across here, are valet folds. So you're going to put your, this is the trickiest one to get in place. So you're going to put your valet folds in on the top ones. You're going to then push that forward and put your mounting folds on in your middle 2, and your bottom 2 will be valets. So it creates these 2 little boxes. Okay, so a valet, a mounting and another valet. It takes a bit of manipulating, but it's worth it. And then the score line that runs right across the middle of the card is also a valet. So when you fold that over, it all folds flat, and when you open it up, those 2 boxes pop up. Okay, so that's step 1. Right, cut hill 1. So I've cut hill number 1, and there are embellishments to go on the hills. So I've told you to cut hill 1 and the embellishments and glue them together. Okay. Once you've done that, you're going to cut the hill support 1 back. So cut hill back support, that's what the file's called in the folder, and fold the score line as a valet. So we've got a V and a mounting, creating a Z. I don't know which way I need to show you to make it a Z. That's really bad, isn't it? But it's like a Z fold, like that. So it's flat, you do a valley, a mountain, and you've got like a little concertina. Step 5, glue tab C, so ABC, to the back of hill 1 towards the top and the left hand side. So towards the back of hill 1, so I'm going to turn this over. Hill 1 is going to go onto here like this. So this is going to go towards the top and the left hand side. So I'm going to glue C, panel C, onto the back of hill 1 like that. So that tab C is going to stick flat to the back of the hill, okay? I hope this makes sense to you. It took me hours to work this one out. It's not even working it out, it's working out how to verbalise it. That's the difficult bit. But fingers crossed, this video will help. Right, so glue on portion C. The hill's going to go like that, and you're going to glue that to the top and towards the left hand side. And that's just going to give you the support that you need, because it's going to be handled. These cards are going to be handled quite a lot because everyone's going to want to see how they work. You're going to get a lot of this when you've got these cards. You're going to get a lot of people doing a lot of that, which is quite fun. So then it says, let me find my workings. Glue tab C to the back of hill 1 towards the top and left hand side. We've just done that. Glue the bottom of hill 1 to the front of the left hand pop-up mechanism on the inner card, and tab A on hill support 1 to the sky. Okay, so we're going to glue that to there, and we're going to glue panel A, the back of panel A, to the back to the sky, because you'll have your sky piece on there. I really hope that makes sense. And it's really difficult because it's awkward because I've got a static camera. So we're going to put glue onto here because that's going to be the left hand side pop-up box, and glue onto the back of tab A, and we're going to stick that on there like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that just facing me. So glue on the front of the left hand pop-up, which is this, and then glue onto section A. So I've got A, B and C. We're going to stick that to the back of the card, which will have your sky piece, your sky mat in place. Okay, so I'm going to line this right angle edge up with the edge of my card. So I'm going to make sure that the hill comes right to the left hand side, and I'm going to glue the hill onto there, and then I'm going to bend that back support down a little bit so that you can't see it when I look at the front of the card. I'm going to push that down a little bit like that. You can't see that. Right, so what I'm going to do is take that off and stick it a little bit further down. Alright, so it's alright that we have to do this. It's a lesson learnt, isn't it? So stick it a little bit lower down. Yes, I have done it a little bit lower down on that one. Lesson learnt, Melanie. That's how we learn, by making our mistakes. That way around. I'm going to stick that there. And then this, going to put glue on the back of A again. Like that. And I'll put a little bit more glue on the front of my pop-up because I've ripped the hill off. And we're going to stick that, we'll try again, there we go. So we're now going to put the hill against there, and please forgive me if you can't see this clearly, it's as good as I can get, I'm afraid. I'm trying to do this back to front, upside down and inside out. So we have got that, and once that's stuck down, I'm going to turn it to the side so that you can see what you should have from the side. So you should have your hill support there, like a little chair, like that. So it's just supporting the back of the hill against that card, okay? And that means that when you fold it over, that's going to fold, but we need to let it dry. I know, I keep saying that, don't I? But it's important, really important. Right, so we've got that one in place. Cut hill 2 and hill 2 embellishments and glue them together. So you will cut the embellishments, glue them down. I'm just using the plain hill because otherwise we'll be here forever. And I'm just going to keep an eye on that time so that we don't run out of video. I can stop it and start again. Right. So once you've glued the embellishment bits onto there, we're then going on to our next instruction. Cut hill 2 back support. So hill 2 back support, and I've numbered them A, B and C, just like hill 1 support, and fold creating a Z. So it's the same again, it's a valley and a mountain. So you're creating that shape again, that little seat like that. You see, back of the seat and the legs. That's what you want. Cut hill 2 support arm and fold all the score lines as mounting folds. So this is the one that I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and they're all mounting. So we're going to fold this across there, so that's a mountain. We're going to fold the second score line as a mountain, and we're going to fold the third line as a mountain. So you will end up with that. And in the instructions I tell you where to stick by the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and A, B, C. So once we've done that, turn hill 2 over so the embellished side is facing down. Now hill 2 is going to go on here like that. All right, so your embellishments are going to be on the front. So that would be my embellished side. So I'm going to turn it over so my embellishments are facing down, and I am going to take the support arm and glue section C of the cube so it lines up with the bottom of the hill towards the right hand side. So section 3 there. And it's worth numbering these because you're not going to see the numbers because they're all hidden behind the main embellishment. So we're going to stick section 3, glue on section 3, like this. And we are going to, so it lines up with the bottom of the hill towards the right hand side. So here, like this. Okay. So we're going to have that bottom, making sure that you come in a little bit so you're not hitting the curve of the hill at the bottom, like that. Like that. So section 3 is now stuck to the back, to the right hand side, but just avoiding this curve bit here. Right. Take the back support and glue tab C to the back of hill 1 towards the top left hand side. Right, so we're going to put that to one side to dry, bring this back in. We're going to stick, so we've got A, B and C, and they come down in that order. So if I open it up, you've got A, B and C. So I want to glue, taking the back support, glue tab C to the back of hill 1 towards the top left hand side. So that's going to become the back support, the back of hill 2 here. So that's the back of hill 2. I'm going to drop that down so that I can't see the tab over the top when I turn it forward, and tab C is going to stick in place about there. If I bring that a little bit closer, you might be able to get it. So tab C is going to stick onto there, okay? It'll make more sense when you're actually doing it. So I would watch this video once and then I would work along with it, but don't do the first bit where I got it wrong. Oh dear. Right, so C is now stuck down to the back of hill 2 towards the top left, and you can see it's that because I've still got A and B on my tab, okay? And you're going to keep it in that chair shape, so the back of the chair, the seat and the legs. Right, let's see what the next instruction is. turn hill 2 back around. So you're going to turn it so that the embellished bit is facing forward. Glue the right hand side of hill 2 to the front of pop-up mechanism, this pop-up mechanism. So this is going to stick on here, lining this edge up with the edge of your card, like that. And then this support arm, so let's do that bit first. So that's going to stick onto there. I'm going to read my instructions. Turn hill 2 back around so the embellished side is facing forward. That's that. Glue the right hand side of hill 2 to the front of the pop-up mechanism and section 1 of the cube to the front of hill 1 and section 4 of the cube to the base of the inner card. That's a lot of instructions. What that means is that number 4 there is going to stick down there. Number 1 is going to stick onto the front of hill 2 like that. Ooh, look, if I show you like that, can you see? So this is your hill 2 support arm. That's going to stick to the front of hill 1. Your bottom of your hill 2 is going to stick onto that pop-up, and layer A on your back support is going to stick onto the back. It'll all make sense when you're gluing it together. It sounds like a lot of words and numbers, but actually, because you've written them on, you can see exactly, and it makes sense, because that support's going to support the bridge between the hill 1 and hill 2. That back support's going to bridge between the back of the card and hill 2. And then this side of hill 2 is going to stick to the pop-up. So let's just do it, right? So we're going to put glue on number 4, and we're going to put glue on number 1, okay? We're also going to put glue on the back of A, and this is why I'm saying to you, put the numbers and letters on, because it makes it so much easier to follow. And then the front of this pop-up, okay? So hill 2 the right way around. I'm going to do it back to front and upside down. So we're going to glue that tab to the back support. Number 4 is going to glue to the base, because number 4 is underneath the bottom of the hill here. Number 3 is going to glue to the front of hill 1. So get those in place first of all, make sure that they're level, and then A is going to stick to the back of the sky. And you will end up with your supports in place. And remember, you're going to let these dry in between. Mine is still wet. You're going to let them dry. Don't try and do this without letting it dry, because you will get frustrated with it. You've got to be patient and let it dry in between, because it makes it easier, okay? So from this side now, you can see you've got the back of hill 2 stuck to the pop-up at the bottom. You've got the hill support at the back that's keeping that distance level, and then you've got hill support 2 inside there. That's stuck between the back of hill 2 and the front of hill 1. Okay, right. And then you need to make sure that it's all lined up to the edge of your card, because if it's not, it's going to pop out the side. So we're just going to shimmer those across a little bit. Okay, right, do you know what? For a quick demo, that will do. I don't say that very often, but actually, I'm not going to worry about it sticking out on the left a little bit. I'm just checking that time again, see if we can get another panel in. Right, so the next panel then is cut out the tree and glue the tree pieces together. So you have a tree and you have a tree mat, okay? So you're going to glue the tree mat on top of the tree. So you would cut that out in brown and that out in green and glue the two together. I'm not going to bother doing that because we want to get on with this. Cut a tree support arm and fold as per top tips. So if it's a tree arm, it's got 4 layers, 4 sections, and we number them 1, 2, 3, 4. That's in your designer tips. All right. So we're going to fold all of these on mounting folds. If you forget, go back to your designer tips at the top of this project and we're going to do our 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay, so it folds like that. Right, glue section 3 of the support arm to the back of the tree trunk at the bottom. So we take our tree and we take section 3 and we glue it to the bottom of the tree trunk. Okay, that's why it's much easier if they're numbered. Can you imagine trying to write this out in words? Oh, it was one of those where my head went a bit fizzy. But once I got the numbers, it was much easier. Sorry, I pointed at you then, didn't I? That's my mum coming out with that. Right, so 3 is stuck to the back of the tree trunk. Cut a tree back support and fold as per top tips. So we know that when we have our tree support, we do a valley, a mountain and a valley. And we put A, B, C on them and we create our little chair. Okay. Apply glue to section C. Glue section C to the back of the, hang on, let me read that again. Glue section C of the tree back support to the back of the tree on the leafy section, making sure it is directly above the tree support arm that is glued to the back of the trunk. So I'm going to take section C, I'm going to glue it on the leafy part of the tree, so the bushy bit at the top, and I'm making sure that it's lined up more or less with the support that I've got at the bottom. So I'm going to put my glue onto C, like that, and I'm going to glue that onto there like that. Now you don't need to be getting a ruler out messing about, you just need to put that on there like that. Okay, I think we can get this one stuck down before I need to stop the video and start it again. So we've got those tree supports there. Right, where do I need to put those? So apply glue to sections 1 and 4 on the tree support arm. So that's the one at the bottom, and you'll see that I've got number 1 there and number 4 there. And section A, which is this section here, is going to stick to the back of the hill. So what I need to do is move that further down. So I need to move that right down there so that it sticks onto the hill. Okay, so I'm going to move that lower down because I'm alright with that, and we're going to stick that to the front of the hill too. Okay, so again, please let them dry. I know I keep repeating myself, but I can't stress it enough. So we're going to stick number 4 to the base of the card. So number 4 that's at the bottom of the tree trunk is going to stick to the base. Number 1 is going to stick onto the front of hill 2, and that one is going to stick at the top of hill 2. Okay, so C is going to stick onto there. Right, so let's glue that. Rather than talking numbers and letters, let's just glue it. So glue on 4, and on 1, and on C. 4 is going to glue down to the base card. So that's going to stick the tree in place. 1 is going to stick to the front of hill 2. And C is going to stick to the front of hill 2 like that. Okay, I'm just going to use my tweezers to grab that tab like that. So then that's your tree in place, and if I turn it to the side, you can see you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4 at the bottom, and you've got your back support at the top. So your arm support at the bottom, your back support at the top. Okay, so that's our tree in place now. Right, let's see if we can get one more layer in before our video runs out. So that's our tree. Cut the bush and the bush support arm and fold as top tips. So we have our bush, which is that piece, and we have our bush support arm, and on the support arm we fold all the score lines as mountain folds, like so. Then we are going to go on to our next page of instructions. This is quite a long one. We are going to apply glue to sections 1 and 4 of the bush support arm and glue section 1 to the front of hill 1 and section 4 to the base of the card. So apply glue to sections 1 and 4 of the bush arm. So we are going to put glue onto 1 and onto 4, like that. We are then going to, I'm not trying to make it right, I'm just trying to find where I'm at. Apply glue sections 1 and 4 of the bush support arm and glue section 1 to the front of the hill and section 4 to the base of the card, lining up to the left hand side of the bush. Right, so that's going to go there. So this is number 1 going to the front of hill 1. And this is number 4 going to the base of the card. Okay, and we're making sure that we're keeping that at a right angle-ish. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to push the front of your card forward so that the back of it is at a right angle. And that is our bush support in there. And then we're going to glue the bush to the front of number 3. All right, so the bush is then we're going to put glue on the front of 3 because that's the bush support, and we're going to put the bush in place on the front of there, like that. Coming together. Right, so I'm going to move that over, make sure that that is stuck down like that. I'm just going to put my tweezers in place just to hold that firm like that. Next bit. Right, so we've done the I forgot here. Cut and glue the pheasant. So there's lots of layers to the little pheasant. And cut and fold the pheasant support arm. So this is a teeny tiny one, this one. It's really teeny tiny because it's got to go. My hand behind it there. It's got to go behind the pheasant, and the pheasant's legs are little teeny tiny things too. So we are going to cut and glue the pheasant, glue him in place, glue section 3 of the, so we're folding our support arm, and we're folding on these score lines. Glue section 3 of the pheasant support arm to the back of the pheasant. So I'm not going to read any more of the instruction until I've done that. So I've got my pheasant, and I am going to glue section 3 of the pheasant support arm to the back of the pheasant and glue to the section 1 of the pheasant support arm. Okay, so glue section 3 of the pheasant support arm. So let me put glue on there like that, and this is going to go, just have a look at my finished one. Okay, yeah, so that's going to go. So you're going to put 3, and I'll put it on the back of his leg so it lines up at the bottom like that. Okay, so let me just stick this in place and then I'll turn it around and show you. So you've got your pheasant like that, and on the back of his leg you've got a little support arm like that. I'm going to try and hand behind it so you can see the shape of it. Okay, and then you are going to stick that, so you're going to stick number 4 down onto the base of the card and number 1 onto the front of the bush like that. Okay, so we're going to put glue on 4, and we're going to put glue on 1, and we're going to stick this onto the base and this onto the front of the bush. And then I'm going to move my tweezers off from there, and I'm going to stick that tab down there. And there are guides on your card base, and they are accurate, so if you follow the guides you'll know where they go, and then that means that he's going to stick to the front of that bush so it looks like he's walking in front of it. I'm sorry for my head, but I just have to get this in place. Right, there you go. So you've got your pheasant on now, so that's that bit done. Right, so now you're going to cut the grass and the grass left and right support arms. Right, so we have grass, here we are. we have grass, and we have a grass left and a grass right support arm. So they've all got 4 panels, so they're numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4, and they all fold as mountain folds. Okay, so we've got all those folded like that. By the time you get to this, you'll be a dab hand at this, you'll know exactly what you're doing. By the time you've done a dozen, you'll be a professional. I can hear the cries. Dozen? I can't even get one done yet, Melanie. Right, so turn the grass over and glue section 3 of the left grass support arm to the right hand side of the grass. Okay, let's do that. So turn the grass over and glue section 3 of the left grass support arm, so that's this one, to the right hand side of the grass. So section 3, let's put glue on. So much easier when I worked out it was better with numbers. Should have just seen all the words that I was using. It's exhausting. Right, let's work that. So that's going to go to the bottom right hand side of the grass. And number 3 is going to stick down. So let me stick that down, then I can show you. Okay, I'm going to press that down firmly. So I now have my grass with panel 3 stuck to the back of it. I've got panel 2 there, panel 1 there, and panel 4 here. Okay, and then I'm going to, tells me to take, next one, repeat step 23, but glue the right grass support arm to the left hand side of the back of the grass, lining up to the bottom edge. So section 3. The right support arm goes on the left hand side of the grass, lining it up, lining it up to the bottom, because the number 4s are going to stick onto your base card. Okay. Right, brilliant, got that bit. So we are then going to apply glue to section 1 and section 4 of both the right and the left grass support arms. Okay, so section 1 is your top panel, section 4 is your bottom panel. So glue to section 1. Yep, I haven't missed anything out in between, so that's good. That's the starter for 10. So we've got that one, we've got glue on 4 on that one. Remember, yours will be dry, mine are still wet, so you will find this easier, and you'll be working so that it's facing you, so it, you know, it's easier all round, isn't it, really? Right, so I'm going to do it this way around so that you can see it. So section 4, both section 4s that are underneath here are going to stick down, but you need to push it back so that, have a look, where am I there? I need to pull that forward, there, like that. So pull my card forward. Sorry, I'm going to have to turn it around a little bit so that I can actually see it. So I'm going to stick 4s down, and I'm just going to pull the card forward so the right support is sticking to the front of the tree. The right grass right support, as you're looking at it, is sticking to the front of the tree. Because my tabs aren't dry, it's giving me a bit of grief. And then your left support is going to stick to the front of the pheasant and the bottom of the card with a bit of luck, like that. But as I said, my tabs aren't dry from the previous layers, so you're going to have to just forgive me for that bit, I'm afraid. If I did it this way around, it would be so much easier, but then you can't see it. So I'm going to do it this way, and then you'll be able to see it done properly, rather than half done and half not. I'm just going to have to give in. Right, I need more glue now because I've moved it too many times. So more glue. More glue at the bottom. You can see my tabs are coming away from where they were before. Right, turn it round. So let's do the right one first. Let's push that back there. Make that straight. Pull the tree, pull it forward, so you're pulling the tree, the back of the card forward to meet that support, and then get it in level. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to drop that down so that the tab is in line with the other tab, and then that's going to stick to my pheasant and the base of the card. So your 4s are always going to stick to the base of your card, and your 1s are always going to stick to something in the scene. Like that. So there we are. So now I've got my back support, grass right support here, and grass left support here. I've got my grass stuck to the front of it, and then it's stuck into the front of the card. Right? Last bit, you'll be, oh no, tractor we've got to put in first, bear with, we've got to put the tractor in. So let me see what my instructions tell me. Don't guess, Melanie, read the instructions, that's what they're there for. Right. Glue the sections for, I've done that bit. Cut and glue the tractor and cut 2 tractor support arms. Right, let's put that to one side so it can be drying. So I've got a tractor, I've got all the layers for your tractor, so you're going to build those up, and I've got 2 support arms for my tractor. I'm going to fold them, because there's 4 panels, I'm going to fold them all as mounting folds. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then I'm going to do the same on this one. And these are going to go on the back of the wheels. So let's have a look at the instructions. Apply glue to section 3 on both tractor support arms. Okay, so glue on this one. That is going to stick to the back of that wheel there. And I'm pulling the tab up so you can't see. If I push it right down to the bottom, you're going to see the tab bit. So I am pushing it down as far as it will go without me seeing it when I turn it round. If that makes sense. So it's about 3 or 4 mil up from the bottom, like that there. Okay. And then number 3 on the second support arm. Okay. So that's going to go onto the bottom of there, like that. Again, taking into consideration that curve of that tyre there. I'm going to move that one up a little bit more, I think. There? Yeah. Right, so I've got both of my 1s and both of my 4s on there now. So this is now going to, we're now going to put, once dry, I had to glue to sections 4 and 1 on both support arms, and glue sections 4 to the base of the card and sections 1 to the front of the grass. So glue on 4. Now this might not touch the base of your card. I think this is one where the actual 4 floats a little bit, depending on where your tabs are. I don't want it on that one, do I? That's already done. I want to stick it on here. So I'm just going to focus on the tab 1 sticking to the front of the grass. And I'm going to do it this way, and then I can show you, because it's easier for me to get it in position and I'm not fighting with it while you're trying to see what I'm doing. I love using reverse tweezers for things like this, because I can just go in and I can just press down firmly with that, and then that tab is just about going to touch the base of that card, but it won't be completely flat, but that's all right. We can live with that as our tractor. So our tractor is now in position there. Okay, last bit, you'll be glad to hear. So I'm going to do this. Done that bit. Next page. Cut the wall and the left and right wall support arms and fold. Right, we're all right for time. So 1, 2, all mountings, remember, and all mountings again, like that. I've got my wall, and I'm going to turn the wall over and glue section 3 of the wall of the left wall support arm to the right hand side of the wall, lining it up at the bottom. So this is the left one, it's going to go on the right hand side. Yes it is. It's alright, just doubting myself, don't worry. Right, so 3 goes on to the left hand side. No, sorry, 3, the left support goes on the right hand side of the wall. Come on Melanie, find your words. And then the right support, panel 3 on the right support, goes on the left hand side of the wall. Okay, like that. And number 4 is always the bit that's going to stick to the bottom of your card. Okay. And actually, I could have put those tabs lower down because the wall's going to go in front of the tractor. So make sure that you put your tabs lower down so you can see them on that curve. That's my bad, made a mistake there, but yeah, we'll learn from it. Right, so I'm just going to be really naughty and put a little bit of glue along the bottom of my tractor towers now, just to hold that in place, like that. Where there's a will, there's a way. Or there's pinfly glue gel. There's always pinfly glue gel. It will save the day. Actually, my registration plate on my car is stuck with pinfly at the moment because it fell off just as lockdown started, the first lockdown started. And of course there was nowhere to get any right screws for the license plate, was there? So I opened the boot and looking at me was a tube of pinfly glue gel. I was like, thank goodness for pinfly. Right, so we are now going to put glue on 4 and 1 on both of the supports, okay? It's much easier when you leave this to dry in between, much easier. And I think it's easier with the numbers and the letters rather than, oh, that would have been really complicated. I think we'd have scrapped this project if we hadn't got numbers and letters. So that's going to go onto there like that. That is going to glue onto the front of the tractor like that. So 4s are going to the bottom of your card and 1s are going to the grass and the front of the tractor. Okay. Right, I'm not even going to attempt to fold this one. It will fold, but my tabs are still all wet, so I'm going to show you on the finished one. And just actually, you can see it's just pinging apart here because they're not dry. And if I'd used red liner tape, I'd have ended up in a right pickle. Because you've seen how many times I've had to manipulate these tabs. So it's up for you. I would definitely make a prototype of this because then it's easier to see it. So that is what it looks like from the front. Okay, so you've got all your layers and your supports and everything else in place going back, and they've been folded in such a way that it will stand up. You might hear some quiz questions going on now because they've got the microphone out. Oh, genius. And then it will all fold. I'm not getting involved in the quiz. And then it will all fold back up. So it'll fold down like that. You're going to have to put it in a box. Don't try and cram this in an envelope because you'll damage it. It's not worth it after all that effort. And then we can open that up and you've got the inside of your pop-up card.